I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, during the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming down. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubt. And I have my doubt that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. I have my doubts, so we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening, YouTube and Patreon. Let me turn that down a smidge. Well, at least, I guess things are looking a smidge better between Israel and Palestine. I don't know. I don't know what's going on like right this moment over there. I know the last I knew there was still shelling, or there were still rockets being launched. The last I knew, that may have stopped. You may or may not know that Russia, Putin had stepped up, and I was incorrect on that, and my apologies. As I've always told you, when I make a call wrong or when I say something that's wrong, I'm the first to admit it. I firmly thought it was going to be China that was going to be the one that was going to be the first to really send a message, and it wasn't. It was Russia, and Putin said that any more civilian deaths was unacceptable, and he started to go through the motions to get all Russian individuals out of Gaza. He could have been playing poker, but that is the move that he would have made before he would have put boots on the ground. So, and I don't think he was bluffing. I think if it kept up, or if it keeps up, I think he'll put boots on the ground. No doubt. I just thought it was China that would be the one to do so first. I kind of figured maybe Russia might want to, retain a little more neutrality. But hey, I can afford a wrong call here and there. So anyway, thank you, Interdimensional Meltdown. Thank you. So I'm looking at this, and the big question is going to be like, what happens over the next who knows, 48, 72 or so hours. That's going to be huge. If there is a ceasefire agreement reached, and to my knowledge, there's nothing done yet. It's just, I believe it's called the Parliament, Israeli Parliament. If I'm mistaken on what they call themselves, I apologize. But they approved ceasefire negotiations. So there's no ceasefire that's been negotiated, to my knowledge, as of yet. But they've been given the green light to go forth with it. So that is a step. That is a step. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to go any further. And let me explain why. It seems to me, and again, if I'm mistaken, I apologize and I'll admit it, but it seems to me that Hamas has had enough. I think that Hamas at one point was in the mindset for a truce, a ceasefire, but I think I have the distinct feeling that has changed, and that is because of the way that Netanyahu responded when they asked for that. So when that was previously brought up. So who knows? I don't have a crystal ball. All I can do is take what information I do have, which isn't any more than what you can get, and try to kind of put the puzzle pieces together and figure out exactly where we stand. And again, a lot's going to really, I would say within the next 72 hours is really going to speak a lot to what's going to be in the intermediate and the intermediate future of the Middle East, and as well as the U.S. Because if this flames up and if this gets out of hand, you better believe that it's going to be a global conflict, and it's just boom, and I think there's a high chance of it. I do, for many reasons. For one, just look at it, and for two, have you read the Bible? Because yeah, so, and it does really kind of seem like that. It does really seem accurate. So we'll see. It's not something I'm wishing for, but I have to sit here and look at this stuff and do my best to discern it, because one of the things I've always promised that I would do is give you as much heads up as possible. And so that's what I'm trying to do. The reason that I've been on edge about this particular situation over there is because I do understand the level of volatility there is currently, and I also understand just how quickly it can spread and just go absolutely nuts. And it's going to be, if it does happen to go nuts, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. You can expect that entire region to go up, meaning all kinds of different countries over there. You can expect that they're going to, respond. I'm trying to think, Aaron. I'm not Aaron. my name's Mike. But yeah, you can imagine if Russia, let's say Russia would put troops on the ground over there. Let's say it reaches that point. That would be a make or break moment, because if anything would happen to one of those troops, it's going to go downhill quick, real quick. Let me have a sip of tea. By the way, side note, right now, the video of me putting the hasp on the shed is processing on YouTube. So I'm letting it wait until it comes out in the 4K, and then once it's done processing in the 4K, then I'll pop it out to everybody. So that video I did get done today. So I wish I wasn't such a moron, and I would have made sure that my door was completely shut before I did the second part of the house. But hey, you'll see that on the video. Oh well. I was actually more focused on making sure that trying to make sure that I was keeping the shot in frame. You'll see. But anyway, so back to Israel. This is a sticky moment, and it's really kind of hard to it's really hard to project where we're going to go from here without knowing the next couple of moves. First off, we need to know if Hamas is willing to negotiate a ceasefire. I don't know. I haven't heard yet. I don't know if anything's been released in that regard. Give me just a second here. Pulled up the latest article on it, and I'm just real quick going to speed read through it. 1 second. I'm not seeing anything in this article as to whether or not Hamas has said anything, indicated anything, or anything of that nature in this article. They may have, and it just may not be here. But a lot's going to hinge on that. It's going to be on their response to whether or not they're going to agree to a ceasefire. So now let me pay a little bit attention to the chat over there because and I'm sorry, I need to work on that a little bit better. I'm not in practice of paying attention to chat, so now I am able to more. I can much more keep an eye on it than I used to before, but I just don't think to. So let's see. You were saying the Temple Mount is where you expect the next event. I find that interesting. You could very well be right. The one big marker, of course, that I'm looking for, as I've said a million times, is Damascus. And I think a lot of people are looking for that marker. But there's going to be a fair amount of things I think that happens before that. Oh, you're hearing Hamas agreed. Okay, well we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, this type of thing does flare up. 2014, I think it was the last time that it got ugly. Ugly like on this level. I mean, don't misunderstand me. It is ugly for people over there each and every day. So don't misunderstand me. But as far as an outbreak of military conflict to this level, I believe it was 2014. And so it's not completely unheard of or anything like that. But I want to interject something that I think gets left out of the conversation a lot. I know that these flare-ups happen, and it's not uncommon. To this level is a bit more rare. But if you take a look at what all has been done in the past, well, let's say 4 years, let's say during the Trump administration, okay? And I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just that time frame. And Trump was an instrumental part of a lot of it. There was a lot of things that were done during Trump's administration as far as in support of Israel. And I'm only saying during that time frame. That's the only reason I'm even mentioning Trump's name. I'm talking about those 4 years. Trump was instrumental in a lot of it, but that's neither here nor there. There was, if I'm not mistaken, some annexation that went on and all kinds of other stuff. So you have to understand, their little bit of land that the Palestinians have, wow, that chopper is serious. The med chopper going out, and it is going out like crazy. Now where was I? I hate when I do that. Hang on. Nah. Dang it, man. I need a little rewind button for myself. Damn, where was I? Damn, helicopters. They're worse than squirrels, I'm telling you. Oh, okay. Done at 2 a.m. today. No more rockets. Okay. Well, that's good. Thank you for that information. It's not a normal ceasefire agreement. What makes it not normal? Let me Google it. Let me do what I would tell other people to do. There's Reuters. Pardon me. Let me make sure. Okay. Israel and Hamas will see. Here, let me. Israel and Hamas will ceasefire across Gaza Strip border as of Friday, the United States said, bringing a potentially tenuous halt to the fiercest fighting in years. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said a security cabinet had voted unanimously in favor of a mutual and unconditional Gaza truce proposed by Egypt, but added that the hour of implementation had yet to be agreed. Hamas and Egypt said the truce would begin at 2 a.m. After 11 days of Israeli-Palestinian hostilities. In a televised address, U.S. President Joe Biden said both sides agreed to the truce would begin in less than 2 hours. Okay, I knew that Biden had went live, but you see, I'm so madly interested in what Biden has to say. I hadn't seen it. So, sirens warned of incoming rockets in Israeli border communities, and a Reuters reporter heard an airstrike in Gaza. A man in his 50s was lightly hurt in a direct hit on the Israeli factory. Medics said, okay, well, I pretty much got a gist of that. And I do know that Biden said that he was going to help replenish the Iron Dome. So I did see that. I also saw where he said that he was going to provide aid to the Palestinians to help them rebuild, and that he was going to give some money to some aid to is it a boss or something to that effect? I can't remember the name, but they're not Hamas. It's no, the Palestinian Authority. Sorry. The Palestinian Authority, because they're not Hamas. And so the aid was supposed to go towards first aid, medical stuff. So there's been several hospitals, medical clinics, and stuff like that that's been destroyed during all of this. I just, I don't know what to think with any of it. And I get it. I get it. It would be much easier for me. I mean, there's a lot of people, they have no problem throwing a thought or an opinion out, and they're good with that. Okay, I'm a bit more careful myself. I'm one of those people that, first off, if I don't have first-hand information, if I didn't personally witness it, I've always got to put that litmus test on it. Always. And, so any information that comes out about this side or that side or anything else, I have to take it with a grain of salt. Because that information can be completely false. Because I wasn't there. The only thing I can do is take the physical evidence that I can see and try to corroborate it with the story. Well, unfortunately, there's no way for me to know whether or not there were Hamas commanders inside of a hospital or inside of a building that was housing the media. Just because you have somebody that comes out and says, oh, well, yeah, I blah, 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 blah. Because let me tell you what, there are a lot of people that do a lot of things for a lot of money. And to be honest, you probably wouldn't have to pay out a whole lot of money, if any, to get somebody to say something like that. I'm not saying it was made up, but I'm saying you have to understand that that's a possibility. You're talking about war. So to think that other nations wouldn't lie is insane. So, again, I'm not taking a side on this. I mean, I personally do kind of have a side on it, to be just real honest. But when I'm looking at this and when I'm talking to you guys about this, I'm doing my absolute best to take my bias out of it. Because it's not my job to judge. It's not my job to, but I know what's right and what's wrong. And that's what I'm basing things on. And that's it. I'm not basing anything on government. Anything governments tell me, anything the media tells me as far as how to feel about something. All I'm doing is looking at the physical evidence, which I can see. And that, yeah, that's enough for me. But anyway, um, let's see. Reading the chat again. Well, that's certainly a possibility. Interdimensional meltdown, absolutely a possibility. And there's so many players when it comes to that would really like to see that explode. And you're right, Turkey. What, Lebanon, I guess, right? Well, Beirut, Iran, of course. Yeah, I'm sure China wouldn't mind seeing that place start turning into a burning rubble. Yeah, I'll tell you. Right, John. You're right. It is just a band-aid. That's all a ceasefire is, and that's all we can expect for it. Because even if things do truly calm down, this situation's not handled, and I have a feeling that unless this situation is handled fairly and amicably, it's not it's not gonna be nice over there. And I have a feeling it's going to just continue to get worse as the more and more land that Israel resettles. So, yeah, it's definitely concerning, you know. And I do believe this is. I absolutely believe that this is prophecy unfolding, and it's very interesting. Um, I don't know. For one, I'm not afraid to death for whatever reason. Um, but I'm pretty certain that we're watching it unfold, and I have to admit, there are a lot of things that I'm actually in awe of as to not only the accuracy of the Bible, but also my inaccuracy. Because there are things that, I thought, they're going to go this way. But then when you watch it unfold, it goes rather different. But there's much more wisdom in the way it goes than the way I thought. If you're following me at all, it's very interesting. And I'm talking about all kinds of events that the Bible has covered up till now. So, yeah, I agree. Which one are you talking about, baby? Oh, okay. Yep. Let me interdimensional. Let me hit John real quick since I've already quickly read through what he said, and then I'll come back up. I'll circle back to you. Uh, I agree about there not being a possibility of amicable solution. I don't. That's not going to be allowed to happen. So there are other nations that are not going to let that happen. So, and just again, it's my personal belief, but from what I've seen, I actually think the main other nation that I'm thinking of that's really the one kind of behind the door pulling the strings, that you're not really seeing too much talk about any of this. Um, It's amazing if you know what to look for. You can see the strings and you can see the strings move the puppets. You really can, but you have to know what to look for, and at the same time you have to also understand that they do make an attempt to hide those strings. So you have to keep that in mind. They do make an attempt to hide those strings. So, but yeah, I don't think there's going to be an amicable solution allowed. Let's see. So what's up with JoJo's COVID-19 executive order from today about the hate crimes against agents? Good question. I don't have an answer for you. I actually thought the same thing when I saw, because I'm subscribed, and I'm embarrassed to say it, but I'm subscribed to the White House on YouTube. I'm sorry. I know somebody's got to take one for the team, right? And so I am subbed to the White House, and I saw a video about it there, and I have no idea. Sorry, I can't answer. I didn't even look into it in the least, but I was curious, and to be honest, kind of concerned. I just, I guess, not enough to actually look. If we run I think it's in the headlines, and if I don't forget, I'll read it, and we'll know, because I have no clue. At first, Global Watchman, I swear, the first time I read through that, I saw the rabbits in Israel. So let me try that again with rabbis. Right on Global Watchman about being sub to them too. Yeah, John, I don't know. As far as the inner workings, the politics there with Hamas, um, I don't understand a lot of the politics of other nations, whether it be Africa, the Middle East, even the UK. Because for one, their cultures are so much different than what ours is, and that makes a big difference. I try to take that in consideration, but you know, like even I don't know what area you would consider it, but like say Ukraine and Czech and Russia, all that region right in there. I know there's a lot of crazy politics mixed up in that area, and don't know nothing about it. Hell, I know that, I don't know, don't Sicilians and Italians have a beef with one another too? I don't know. Right, they are actually, you're right, they are, the whole idea of the radical groups is the elite. That's how they destabilize us. And what's happening in the United States, what we're watching happening in our own country right now, is the same thing that we watched happen in all these other nations all over the place. Yeah, I'll come back up. And all these other nations all over the place. It's the exact same playbook that is happening. And now they're just here in the United States doing it. And I'm going to be honest, I think the CIA has a huge hand in it. I think that I knew I saw those lights dim. Then I saw it on the screen over here in the replay. Anyway, that was kind of funky. Now see, I got back off of it again. But nonetheless, they did it again. I don't see anything else dimming, do you? Okay. That's weird. That's twice now that those have dimmed. And I didn't notice anything else dimming or anything. The computers didn't go out. And the computer the Jen is on is the one that I used for many years. And I know that sucker is sensitive when it comes to surges, and that thing is shut off in the blink of an eye when there's a surge, and it's still up. So, well, maybe somebody's hacking into our living room lights, man, because they're smart lights. Ah, anyway, hmm. Like I say, I keep trying to explain though. In the end, and this is the most important thing, um, we have to be prepared. You know, um, that is the most important thing, is that we're prepared. And I think it's important that we put a lot of focus on that. Um, More focus on that versus what is going on. And I'm talking about whether it be with Israel or whether it be with, whatever. We really need to be focused on that. I think our time to get ready is very limited. Very, very limited. And I'll explain why, and then I'll look at the chat to make sure that I didn't miss anything. So the last, I don't know, 4, maybe 5 times, because when I place Amazon orders, a lot of times I'll order a few things at the same time. I won't just order one thing. Most of the time, I won't just order a single thing. And the last, I don't know, maybe 4 times or so I've put orders into Amazon, I've noticed it's really not been the same service as far as speed or anything like that. There is something seriously up. At least it may just be a local thing. I don't know, but it doesn't seem. It does seem to be that, because some of these items are coming from across the country and stuff like that. And it used to be a little quicker. Now the other thing is like we had ordered some stuff from Amazon, and everything has came from the post office. Now it was the deal to where Amazon drops it off at our post office, so our post office just delivers it, but Amazon drops it off there at the post office. So what's going on? I don't know. And again, it could be a localized thing. I don't know. But I do know it is taking longer to get things. And I ordered that microphone. Hang on here. Ordered it on the 18th. And 2 days, it still hasn't shipped. And they claim it's going to be here Saturday. But it hadn't even shipped. And it's just like, okay, what's up with that? So, from my experience, because this isn't the first time I've had this, from my experience, I'm probably going to get this, depending on how it's shipped. If Amazon ships it, if Amazon delivers it, I should say, I could get it on Sunday. But there's a chance I'm looking at Monday or Tuesday. So, and it's largely because they're just not getting it shipped. And I don't understand why. I don't get why. They didn't used to be that way. So, but I also had the same thing, as a matter of fact, when I ordered the Do-It-All handle. The other, component that I ordered for it, it seemed like it took them a while to get that out. So, something is up. And I'm not quite sure, but I will repeat once again, get ready, because things are not right in the market, so to speak, as far as I don't know if it's just in the delivery, if it's in stock, or what all it entails, to be honest. So let me back up and Okay, the Israel response in Ewing meeting. Okay, I'll have to check it out. Okay, all right. Thank you for the heads up on that, John. Um, yeah, and the bikes do work. I do need to replace Jen's battery. Jen's battery's bad. Neither one of us has super batteries, but her batteries are gone. My batteries still work. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to get I wished I knew a way to get a bunch of used laptop batteries because that's how I built my battery. Um, to buy 18650s new is pricey. To be able to build my own battery pack with new batteries, to buy a battery pack, about $450 the last I looked, which has been a little while ago. So yeah, I haven't done nothing with that yet. If I went back with lead acid in it, which I really don't want to do, that would be at least the last I looked around $140. So really don't want to go that route because that's like 60, 65 pounds worth of batteries. My battery the battery pack I built that's on my bike using scavenged 18650s weighs like 14 pounds. So I don't know. We'll get it figured out. I'm hearing voices. Well, then I'm not crazy. Jen hears them too. People walking down the street. Um, oh, I hear you on that. I'm just getting to yours on interdimensional meltdown. You're welcome for me taking your questions. Let's see. I'm catching back up. Almost there. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Global Watchman News, too. Have a good show, man. Let's see. Yeah, bike batteries aren't cheap. They are not. I really wish the next new big battery technology would come out. And I mean the next big battery technology like graphene or something like that. So the price of Li-ions would go down. And maybe with a little bit of luck, the lipos would go down. So there are solutions, but I'm not well versed enough in it to trust. I can't necessarily say myself, but oh wow, oh sorry about that. I misassumed your gender. That's why I'm just going to be fluid from now on, so it won't matter. If somebody thinks I'm female, it won't matter because that just kind of flow all over the place. I'm joking. It's my Friday. What do you expect from me? um, Trying to think. I hate the way YouTube is now. Uh, you used to be able to like click on somebody and go to their channel, and now you can't. Why is that? Why would YouTube do that? I find that very, very interesting why YouTube would want to prevent its users from being able to easily find other users.
I don't have to tell you.
Okay, you got a new sub over there. Pardon me. Sorry about that. I normally try to mute the mic, but there was no getting to it, the button in that time. So anyway, let me peek over real quick. I'm going to get to the headlines here in just a moment. I'm going to peek over, do a refresh, and see if that ever got done processing. Not yet. So it may be tomorrow before that video gets done processing. If you do a video in 4K, YouTube is not friendly. It takes forever. And somebody had in a forum mentioned a trick to where you go in after it processes the standard version, you go in and you do a little edit in the editor, and then it'll reprocess that part of it, and then you go back in and you revert to the original, and it speeds the whole thing. I don't know, it's stupid. It does work. It does work. But the last time I did it, it still took forever. So I figure this time I'm just going to let it go however long it takes to, I don't know, YouTube, fix your stuff. I don't know what it is. I know that there's rumors and talk that it has to do with how big your channel is, and they reserve the processing power for the bigger channels. I don't know if that's true or not. So I'm not going to jump to say that it is. I am kind of curious. I do wonder, you know, like some of the channels I watch, like Original Dobo, for instance, one of the drone channels I watch, he does stuff in 4K. I think 51 Drones, Russ, I think he does 4K. I'm curious how long it takes their videos to process in 4K, because I know it can take a couple of days. A 20-minute video can take a couple of days to process in 4K. So, for me. Oh, okay, sweet. Or, I'm sorry, I hadn't watched before. That's why I subbed to you, so that I can watch. Are you from the United States? And your co-host from the UK, or what's up with that? I'm definitely going to check you out, no doubt. Yeah, I would like to mess with the 360 cam. Those, I have to admit, are pretty cool. But that goes into me just getting something to play with. And I can't do that right now. But I want to. I want to get the new DJI Air 2S. But I can't. So you have to play the lottery to win it. Oh, wow, Chicago. Okay. Are you still in Illinois, or are you fortunate? Because we're not fortunate. Oh, man, I am sorry to hear that. I am so sorry to hear that. Yikes. Yeah, that... You know, I do believe that if the world doesn't go up in a big puff of smoke before it gets the chance to happen, I do believe that there is going to be massive class action lawsuits against companies like Google and stuff like that, for all of their shenanigans with creators and their monetization. And I have a feeling that that's going to come to a head, and that at some point, and it could be a while down the road, I have a feeling at some point there's going to be a number of individuals that's in for a paycheck, and that's if the world doesn't go up in smoke beforehand. Okay. Sweet. Okay, we're in, and let me clarify before you jump to think otherwise, unless you already know. We're in Highland, Illinois, and no, that's not Highland Park that would be up by you. It's Highland, down by Chicago. We're about 30 miles east of St. Louis. So we're in the other Illinois. Yeah, Jen's asking for the other Illinois. So, because there is an other Illinois, and it's down below us. So, and I've got the perfect amount of teeth to fit in down there too. But I would prefer to get out of the state. Yep. Yep, I love this little town. I firmly believe that this is where I'm supposed to be. As far as when all this stuff goes down, I really firmly believe that. It's just really crazy that I happen to have grown up here, and literally this is a pretty ideal place. If the balloon would go up, and I mean in a very, very serious manner, say a grid down situation or something like that, this really would be a good place to try to build a community and try to rebuild structure and life. And we've got enough stuff here. We've got enough infrastructure. And I mean, I'm talking the town. I don't mean anything outside the town. We've got our own power generation plant, that can, easily supply the entire town with power. We don't use it, and it's all been updated. So all that, I don't know, it might have been 10 years ago, which when you're talking power plants isn't very long. I know it's all been upgraded. New generators, new motors, I mean the whole 9 yard. And or new engines, I should say. And but we don't use it because what our town does is it buys power from at bulk rates from Ameren and then resells it to the people of the town. So what happens then, not only do we typically get a little better rate than what Ameren's rates are, but, Highland doesn't have to run their generators. So they get to preserve their equipment, and if they would ever need to, they can kick it on and power the town. I think it's absolutely incredible. And whoever it was that made the decision to spend the money, to spend the funds to upgrade that power station, they were genius. I don't know who made that call here in town, but they were genius. And because it was a rather aging system. Let me see here. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's haywire here too, to an extent. I'm in a small town way. You have to understand, we're like 9,000 people. We're a small town. Oh, right on, Global Watchman News. Right on. Yeah, I'll definitely have to start sending people your way as well. Catching up the chat. Alrighty, we'll see you soon. I'm getting ready to do the headlines, and I'll probably pop over to watch you if you're still live. I don't know how long you go live for, so. But if you're live when I get finished up here in a little bit, I'll pop on over. So, let's see. Trying to think there's anything else. Not really. I guess I can throw some headlines at you guys and end the week. So that is after I have a sip of tea, couple of baits. Yeah, there's a lot of small town politic crap and all that. I am absolutely positively not a very well loved person in the community, because I'm just as honest with them I'm me. I'm the same me. So whether or not you meet me in person or here, I'm just me. I don't know anything different. And I wouldn't want to even try to be anything different. And so, yeah, I do. I rub a lot of people the wrong way, and I'm good with that. I'm fine with that, you know. I go to bed each and every night knowing that I was honest and that I wasn't misleading, misdirecting, misguiding whatsoever. And I go to bed each and every night knowing that if I witnessed a wrong throughout that day, that I would step in and try to right it. I do this stuff all the time. You know, of course, a lot of it's stupid stuff, social media or something like that. But just me. I'm me. But it doesn't sit well. Really doesn't sit well with a lot of people. Especially in a small town. Because they want to play that politics. Well, Sally said, you know, and I'm like, who the fuck's Sally? Why do I care what that person, why do I care what you think of me, you know? And they don't know how to handle that, especially in a small town, because that's what it's all about. It's all about that image. And when they realize that you could give a damn less about your own image, about their image, or anybody's image, they don't like that. They hate that because they don't know how to respond. Anyway, let me do these headlines. You guys might want to see them too. So, and I got the other video. I was telling you guys, I've got another video which is yet to be named on YouTube, or yet to be really discussed on YouTube. I told Patreon what it's going to be, and it's not really that big of a deal, but in my opinion, it is a big deal. But I am waiting until that mic comes in to do that video, because it's not like I got 1,000,001 projects to do, and I know, yeah, I could just do this and do that and test, but I want to test it in an actual video, not just going around jerking around outside. So anyway, I'm going to wait for that mic to get in before I do that. And then I still got the damn prepper closet video to do. So I'm almost finished. I actually got quite a bit accomplished today. And I'm doing the final touch-ups on getting stuff, well, at least as organized as it's going to get for at least the moment. So once that's done, I can do that final video and get that piece together. But like I say, there's not a lot, telling you ahead of time, there's not a lot of video footage I've got as far as the process of doing it, because do you guys really, are you really interested in seeing me put stuff in a closet? I mean, really, I'm not interested in watching me put stuff in a closet. So anyway, but the important part I want to show you, and that is what I did, and I want to explain why I did it. And again, if I can help somebody else that's living in a small home, in a small environment, with ideas on how to get the most bang for the buck as far as calories and stuff like that in a small amount of space, I'll try to do that. So we by no means, in a prepping sense, are set or anything of the sort. But we've been on a journey, and I am very proud at what we've been able to accomplish and put together. And undoubtedly, we could sustain ourselves for, you know, a fairly rough patch. And when I say that, at this point, I don't think that we could get through an entire winter. So, but we could definitely smack half a winter pretty good. A little more food storage. So give us about 2 or 3 months if we've got that much time left, and I'll I'll firmly say that we'll have enough food supplies and whatnot to make it through an entire winter. That's my goal now. My goal now is to have enough food and supplies to be able to make it through an entire winter. So it was 3 months. Okay, we've reached that, and in fact, I think we've surpassed 3 months a little, not a lot. So now it's time to double that or a little better. We need to hit 6 or 7 or so months. So that's my next goal. And I think I've got enough room in there to do it, but it's going to be tight, and that'll be the end of that. Because I guarantee there won't be any more room after that. So, all right, let me do some headlines. I keep saying I'm going to do that, and then I talk. All right, starting out with something that I was saying back in high school and was hated for it. Drinking any amount of alcohol causes damage to the brain, a study finds. I literally was saying that back in high school. So, in fact, well, that's right, because I shared that article. That's why I mentioned it. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. But, yeah, I'm not a big fan of drinking, so if you didn't know. Once in a while. A lot of work to be done. Lavrov says Russia ready to kickstart dialogue on strategic stability, other issues after meeting Blinken. Washington. Blinken, that's his name, Blinken. I can't help it, I didn't name him. So. Oh no, that's his name, Blinken. Biden, Lincoln, Blinken, yeah, who knows. Really? Is there going to be a movie theater involved? Because we really need a movie theater. I'm just saying.
Lincoln, can you please?
What? Yeah. Can somebody get John Wilkes Booth? No. I better continue on. Washington rebuffs French UN resolution urging Gaza ceasefires. Netanyahu says Israel determined to continue fighting. Of course, obviously, this is kind of old news. Apocalyptic scenes as massive dust storm turns skies orange in southern Russia. Al Biden. I like that. I like that. Pardon me. Biden CDC director seemingly gives credence to Wuhan lab leak theory, says lab-based COVID-19 origin a possibility. Paris police restrict who cares, Palestinian rallies. I'm just going to restart that. Paris police restrict pro-Palestinian rallies out of fear for public disturbances after last demonstration led to clashes. Damn, that was a hard headline to read. India's refiners prepare for lifting of U.S. sanctions on Iran's oil. Maybe it's me. I think it's certainly me. Some days I'm off, and some days I'm off and I can't read worth a damn. Other days I actually do pretty good, but not today. British soldiers who refuse COVID jab will be educated. I could take some of that. And could face disciplinary action, says the media. What? Obscene to put profits before saving lives. 9 new big pharma billionaires emerge amid COVID-19 vaccine rollout. Russia to reveal prototype of its digital ruble in late 2021, says central bank. Hundreds evacuated in Greece as fire rages through countryside in Corinth region. Navigational hegemony. Beijing fumes after U.S. warship illegally enters waters of disputed South China Sea. France's former President Sarkozy returns to court for campaign finance violations after trial halted in March. Talks between Lavrov and Blinken constructive. Pair discuss situation on Russian-Ukrainian border and treatment of U.S. state media. wished I was a fly on the wall of that conversation. Belgium deploys military in manhunt for heavily armed far-right soldier who decried life under politicians and virologists. I mean, backing up a little bit here. So, we have this thing called freedom of speech in the United States of America. So, the politicians constitutionally can't stop the media from lying. So, like the whole Russian craziness with the election and all that, the politicians can't constitutionally, they can't put a stop to that because it is considered free speech. And I get it. I wished it would stop. I'm not going to say I wish they would stop it because I don't. I don't wish them to encroach on free speech. We can't fall into that trap. What it in reality takes is us, first of all, to stop giving them attention. Because if they aren't making money, if they're not getting views, if they're not getting attention, they're not making money, they're not going to continue to do it. But I'm a realist. What is going on in U.S. media with Russia is becoming a national security threat. You can't expect another nation to sit there and be the punching bag indefinitely with no recourse, with no... And it's been both Democrats and Republicans. I mean, largely the Democrats, but Republicans have too. Both politicians and the media, meaning like Fox, CNN, yada, yada, yada. You get my drift. But at least the politicians could knock it off. And maybe if the politicians would knock it off, the media might follow suit. But we have to lead by example, and unfortunately we don't have true leaders in our country, and they really got to knock their stuff off, because the way that our government is acting as a whole, whether it be to each other, whether it be to us, whether it be to other nations, the way they're acting as a whole is wrong. Absolutely and completely wrong. And when you do that, people are going to follow that. They're going to follow that lead. And that's what we've had. I mean, you take a look at our nation, whether it be media, whether it be corporations, that's all they're really doing is following the government lead. Hell, the government's the biggest crime syndicate there is. So I look at this, and it does really kind of put us in a bad situation as far as all this, what was it that they called it? Not Russophobia, but there was another name that they kept calling it. But, yeah. It's crazy. Anyway, sorry. I'll stop that rant. Current Chinese vaccines effective against Indian COVID-19 variants, says Beijing Disease Control Center. A face-saving fakery, Biden administration's caving in by waiving sanctions on Nord Stream 2, Professor Wolf tells boom bust. Victims I must be trying to do something new with gender or something, and the word victims. Victims of rupture-prone fraudulent PIP breast implants deserve compensation, a French court rules. Well, I am finally glad I can get compensated for something. Child suicide attempts increased by up to 200% during pandemic in Canada, warn charities and hospitals. I'm curious if it's the same in the United States. And I know we were warned about this, but at the same time, I cringed when I heard them start talking about how suicide rates were going to go up and all of that, because that can also be, that's not predictive programming, is it? I think it's like suggestive programming. But yes, most definitely, you can actually cause an increase with things like that just by bringing it up. And so that was kind of my fear when that went on. The U.S. begins first clinical trials testing cannabis products as migraine treatment. Polish practice of secondment of judges incompatible with European treaties, Advocate General of top EU court says. Echoes of the Gulag, migrant advocate slams suggestion by Russian prison chief that convicts be used to replace foreign workers. iPhone users digital slaves to overpriced obsolete gadgets and are trapped in Apple's grasp, says Telegram founder Durov. I personally don't disagree with him. I mean, that is the whole smartphone industry as a whole, but Apple's pretty bad. Putin orders plan for evacuation of Russians from Gaza as Moscow warns Israel that more civilian casualties are unacceptable. We talked about that. Newsweek condemned for Nazi-esque article claiming fleas in Palestine must be destroyed. Let's see. German army officer who posed as Syrian refugee on trial for planning attack on politicians. Israel says Hamas endangering Palestinians as IDF posts video showing militants' rocket misfiring and landing in Gaza. Lego unveils LGBTQIA+. It's getting so many letters, I'm going to have to take a breath in the middle here soon. Rainbow-themed set designed to celebrate everyone. UK Transport Secretary says travelers abroad should use common sense after government gets accused of mixed messaging. Navalny's allies cry foul as father of key aide Zadnov faces 10 years behind bars over fraud and forgery charges. Mix and match your jabs. South Korea kicks off trial mixing AstraZeneca and Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines because why the hell not? Plenty of vaccines from East and West. Hungry ops out of E. I mean, they just... Hell, let's throw them together and see. Why not? Hold my beer. Plenty of vaccine from East and West. Hungry ops out of EU's new COVID-19 jab deal, securing 1.8 billion Pfizer shots for a block. Tribal elders secure month-long ceasefire between Taliban and Afghan government after international mediators fail. Archbishop of Canterbury offers full personal apology to victims of abuse at UK Christian holiday camps. Bitcoin climbs back above $42,000 after brutal cryptocurrency market sell-off. Former Donbass militia leader awarded $4,600 in damages from Bellingcat over claims he was involved in downing of MH17 in Ukraine. COVID-19 vaccine intellectual property waiver will not be enough to address inequality, the WTO chief warns. Indian government calls on states to declare black fungus an epidemic as cases of deadly disease rise. To tackle the problem of space junk, Cyber Farmer proposes building future satellites out of mushrooms. Kind of interesting, actually. Let's see. Location northernmost, mission top secret. RT visits Russia's state-of-the-art Arctic military base. That was kind of an interesting video. Bahrain bars unvaccinated citizens from most public venues amid record spike in COVID-19 cases. U.S. state-run RFERL backtracks on dubious claim West was honest with Russia about NATO expansion on its borders after online outcry. London's Pimlico, London's Pimlico Academy hit with teacher strike after headmaster steps down over racist uniform and Union Jack policies. Change that name while you're at it. If you want to try to bite Russia, we'll knock out your teeth, Putin says, warning whole world is afraid of size and resources of country. That's interesting. Trust in national governments plummets across the EU during COVID pandemic, says a survey. Attack on Jewish diners by Palestine supporters in Los Angeles investigated as possible hate crime. EU Parliament votes to freeze signing of Chinese investment pact until Beijing lifts sanctions on European politicians. War and climate disasters displaced record 55 million people in 2020 amid global lockdowns, a study finds. Not limited to words, German foreign minister visits Israel, asserts its right for self-defense amid continued conflict with Gaza. Top French court rejects article in controversial security bill that penalizes people for filming police. Stop attacking me, punk. Fox's Geraldo explodes on air over Israel's crimes and gets accused of spreading Hamas propaganda. Amid internal dissent, House Democrats passed bill giving $1.9 billion for security at U.S. Capitol. And it makes you wonder what they're up to. French Interior Minister calls on cops to crack down on people flouting COVID curfew after deplorable scenes at bars and cafes. Israel unleashes strikes after vowing to press on in Gaza. Again, as you know, this is all old stuff. Gaza ceasefire green-lighted by Israeli government. Talks on Egyptian-mediated truce to begin after 10-day Gaza conflict. Again, that's old news now. CNN's Chris Cuomo blasted for advising New York Governor brother on defiant response to sexual harassment allegations in strategy calls. EU reaches provisional deal for COVID-19 test and jab passports in major step for summer travel restart. Over 90% of Indian military vaccinated against COVID and ready to help country fight pandemic, says the Army Chief of Staff. For the first time since 2017, Twitter reopens verification for its best behaved users. Hackers provide decryption tool to unlock IT systems of Irish health services after ransomware cyber attacks. Georgia governor urges Board of Education not to teach dangerous ideology of critical race theory. Psaki raises white flag and admits U.S. had no way of stopping Nord Stream 2. That was 95% complete already. Biden says U.S. will help IDF replenish Iron Dome and reiterates full support to Israel and first speech after Gaza ceasefire. Ted Cruz bashed for retweeting mashup of Russian and U.S. Army recruiting ads and complaining about emasculated U.S. military. Let's see. Almost like terrorists, 3,500 rounds of ammo, guns, and swords seized during raids on anti-lockdown activists in Austria. How dare them be anti-lockdown? All right. There are your headlines. I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to go check out Global Watchman News Channel. So I'm going to get out of here. You all have a good weekend, and enjoy your Shabbat if you so partake. And we will see you on Sundays. So, as always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And Shabbat Shalom.